Transmitting.
All right. Round 2. Let's try this again. 2.0. Good afternoon, folks. We are absolutely thrilled to be up here at the 360 rooftop bar at the Hilton at the ballpark. As you can see, this absolutely beautiful stadium behind us, Busch Stadium, the home of the St. Louis Cardinals, right behind us. We are 26 floors high. Still no sound?
It's not even showing up now.
God.
Steven.
Oh, there we go.
We good?
Go ahead and talk.
All right. Hold on. Let me... Oh, I hear us talking. All right, we're definitely good. All right, we're
We
good.
are so
We're
back.
good. Hell yeah. All right.
We are so back.
So, where were we? Okay, regroup. Beautiful day here in St.
Yes.
Louis. Absolutely stunning day. We had open practice. We had open locker room. We had press conferences. Things got a little weird. March Madness is in full swing. We got High Point over Wisconsin is the biggest upset of the day. We were this close to a Duke upset. We were heartbroken over that, but hey, it happens. Hopefully, maybe who they played in the next round?
Duke would play TCU.
Hopefully TCU gets them here in a couple days. But good vibes, good vibes, and it's only going to be a positive show.
Absolutely.
All right, Tyler?
Yeah.
Only positives. That's what we woke up this morning doing, and we want to keep it that way.
Kentucky plays in the NCAA tournament tomorrow. Woo! It is supposed to be the most fun time of year, even with the ups and downs of this season. Kentucky can go into tomorrow to extend the season, get the fan base a little bit back on track, a little bit more excited. It is beautiful here in St. Louis. I mean, we got to see Kentucky practice today. I thought they looked pretty loose. We were a little bit worried. We haven't talked to them since the bracket came out, but they seemed like they were in a good mood, good vibes, joking around, lots of laughs on the court. So on that end, everything seems great, right?
It sure does. Just as a friendly reminder, this is a Sources Say happy hour Zoom action crossover.
I don't know why I'm
3.
here.
First time ever, and we are absolutely thrilled about it. And we, Country Boy, this is a delicious beer, always a delicious beer. But shout out to our friends at Country Boy. They always are the MVPs of everything that we do on the happy hour. But shout out to Parlour Pizza, SeatGeek, KSR 10. Make sure you go do that. 10% off your ticket purchase here at the NCAA tournament. Brandon Ramsey. We made jokes a couple years back. You may remember watching we're in St. Louis, watching St. Peter's do their open practice, and we said very dumb things after that, and we came to regret them. Me specifically. We won't be doing that again for Santa Clara, correct?
That's correct. They looked amazing today. Did not miss a shot. 2016 Golden State Warriors-esque. Alan Graves, the best player I've ever seen. Kentucky has no shot.
There we go. I love hearing that. This is a basketball show where we have a lot of other things, media, just talking points and things that don't necessarily matter that much. But in terms of the basketball, 2.5-point favorite with our friends at BetMGM going into tomorrow. Nerves. How nervous should Kentucky be going into tomorrow against a very good Santa Clara team?
I'll just take this.
There we go. Do it.
So I think a healthy respect is what we're looking for Santa Clara. This is a 7-10 matchup. You're not really supposed to feel good in a 7-10 matchup. Those are mostly toss-ups across the board. That just is what it is. And there are some things about, if you were to build a Ken Pom profile of a team that could give Kentucky some problems, it would be Santa Clara, quite frankly. They're an excellent offensive rebounding team. They force a bunch of turnovers. They press. They shoot threes. Now, some of the research that Zach Gagan and I did on our Zoom Action show, shout out, if you delve into that a little bit further, you get some context. A lot of that is built against Quad 3 and Quad 4 opponents. When you look at Santa Clara against Quad 1 teams, they're 2-6. Their defensive efficiency falls below 40. Their offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency falls to 120. They're outside the top 100 in rebounding, outside the top 100 in turnovers forced. So when they play teams like Kentucky, quite frankly, a Quad 1 opponent, they have a lot less success. So there's some important context to some of their numbers, but still, they are a very dangerous team. Alan Graves is going to be an NBA player. Elijah Mahi might be an NBA player. They have real guys that are going to go on to play at higher levels. It is not your everyday mid-major. A healthy respect. That's what I'm going for.
Steven, on that note, Alan Graves is the star, the third leading scorer, but the guy that everybody's talking about. He's a lottery talent. He is going to be a portal commodity, like people openly talk about it. I thought that was a fascinating talking point today in the locker room where, Allen was talking about, like, hey, my draft status is something I wasn't expecting. I was a redshirt a year ago. I was not expecting to be in this position. So he said he's heard the noise. And then Coach Herb directly was asked, like, hey, somebody's going to be coming after Alan Graves this offseason and paying a pretty penny for him. How do you respond to that? Interesting talking points here when we're talking about mid-majors and that, hey, good players go up a level into high major status in situations like Alan Graves. Yeah,
it's like they're the minor leagues for the high majors. Like that's kind of it's like a farm system now almost to an extent. So should we partner with somebody to they can develop some of the players and send them up to Kentucky? We should do that. I liked him. He was really good. Yeah, he was really good in front of the camera. He's
also a hell of a player.
Yeah. So he's very marketable. Yeah. And I hope he doesn't have a great game. Let me ask you this: is that somebody Kentucky might be looking at? That's what I would want to know.
If Alan Graves enters the transfer portal, I can guarantee you that Kentucky will be interested. And we've seen Mark Pope in this very specific spot, teams that he has gone up against and gotten hands-on looks with. That goes immediately shoots to the top of his
2 or 3 guys on this team: Denzel, Mo. Anybody else?
He
played him at BYU. Yeah.
So yes, and he would command quite the pretty penny. And hey, you know what? I hope it happens.
$9 million. I hear we have $9 million. We had $9 million to give a player. 7 to 9.
Speaking of the devil, Tyler Thompson, money has been a big talking point of the day. You were there, sitting in the audience for that moment. Yaxel Lindeberg. You may know him, very popular man in the college basketball scene, said that Kentucky offered him a range of $7 to $9 million, so that would be the starting point of any NIL offer from Kentucky, but said that he wanted to go with loyalty and trust and somebody who actually believed in him, yada, 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 to go play for Dusty May at Michigan. Mark Pope had some words. What were those words today, Tyler?
So one of our colleagues, Mark Story from the Herald Leader, whom we all respect.
Love that guy.
Asked Pope, a question had come up earlier about how much of a distraction these reported NIL budgets and figures have been in this season. Kentucky obviously had the $22 million figure floating around, and Pope admitted it is a little bit of a distraction, but you just have to tune it out. So Mark Story asked, well, speaking of, what about the report that you guys offered a player? Didn't even mention Yaxel by name, $7 to $9 million last offseason. Would you like to comment on that? And Pope did not exactly. He did not directly address it, instead using the opportunity to talk about the inaccuracies in reporting in the media and basically fake news and how the lines in the media world and the landscape have become blurred, where you can have, quote, people in their underwear sitting in their basement getting on social media and reporting things, and all of a sudden they're considered media because they put stuff out on Twitter and Instagram. Versus, actual journalists who do the hard work. And when another reporter followed up saying, well, you didn't directly say about the $7 to $9 million. Do you want to respond to that? And he doubled down and said no, and brought up fake AI articles about his family on Facebook, all of which are blatantly fake and terrible and nonsense. And just saying that he didn't want to make a headline, but that if a real, certified, reputable journalists wanted to dig into it, they could get to the truth of it all. When the truth of it all is, whether or not Yaxel was actually offered that or not, we don't know. But Yaxel himself said it. So he's responding to the comments of a player. It's not a reporter says that Kentucky offered. It was Yaxel saying that happened. So it was just odd. It felt to me like it was Pope's opportunity to respond to all of the media stuff that's been happening this year that has clearly bothered him. It's been weighing on him. It's been mounting. He, to his credit, he did say that when you come to Kentucky, it's a circus and you just have to deal with it. So it was weird. I will just say that.
Yeah. We're not in the basement. We're on the 26th floor. So to prove just how reputable we are as reporters, we didn't go down. We actually went as high up as we possibly could to the cityscape here in St. Louis. So and I actually am wearing underwear technically. I mean, it might be TMI, but not visible. Speaking of distractions and absolute nonsense that I think just totally unnecessary when we're talking about a basketball game. You as a former coach. I feel like just even bringing it up, and as easy as it could have been to just say, yeah, I did not offer anybody $7 to $9 million. Can we focus on what actually matters, and that's winning freaking basketball games? There would be no distractions if you were just winning basketball games and getting high seeds and, starting on Friday in the SEC tournament. All of the extra stuff that comes with losing basketball games and not living up to the standard that you set for yourself when you got hired for the job, and saying that I welcome any and all criticism kind of seems a little thin-skinned, just being totally transparent. But I don't think any of that matters right now. I think the only thing that matters, Brandon, is winning basketball games. And I think it's making a bigger story than it needs to be.
Yeah, I think it is, absolutely. And I think that, some of that just comes down to how he handles press conferences in general. I mean, I think it was his wife that not too long ago gave him a hard time for talking too much. Yeah. And I think a lot of times he talks too much. He says too many words. And I think some of that comes from him being intellectually smart, and he thinks he can kind of, go toe-to-toe with everybody in the media and with every story. And I think he thinks he has the best answer at everything. And it's like sometimes it's like, hey, just kind of like be the old-school coach and just say, shut up, I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about Santa Clara. And, I get it. Sometimes the media doesn't handle that the best either. But I think we would all rather have had that today. I just say, hey, I'm not here to talk about freaking Yaxel Lindenborg. He doesn't play for our team. I want to talk about Alan Graves and how we're going to guard the pick and pop. Let's do that, and then we'll worry about that in 7 days or 14 days or 21 days, whenever we get around to it. So, yeah, to me, he outsmarts himself in a lot of different facets, but especially in press conferences at times. And it'd just be better if he would almost just nip some of that stuff in the bud and just be like, hey, we're not talking about that. Let's talk about basketball, which is what I'm the professional at.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to hear. Can we talk about that in the offseason? That's an offseason talking point. Let's talk about it in the offseason.
That's not true.
Yeah,
just say it's not true, because it's not true. There's no way. It doesn't make any sense.
It's nonsense. It's absolute garbage. So why even address it in the biggest moment of the season? Let's talk about the things that matter. And what does matter, Steven, you were in the locker room. Vibes were awesome in the locker room. And I think that's where the biggest, I was just stunned leaving, because I love talking to the players. They're loose, and Colin Chandler's talking about how the basketball looks like a cheese puff, and Cam Williams is like, hey, I'd met Aaron Harrison at this point, a decade plus ago. I was like an 8-year-old at the time in Louisville, and now I'm going to do my own Aaron Harrison story. Awesome stuff that came from the locker room that, basketball specific, that we should be talking about and is the top priority right now. I think this team is exactly where they need to be in the right headspace to win a basketball game tomorrow.
Yeah, but real quick, can you guys just hit that like button and subscribe while you're here? So while we got you here, hit that like button, hit the subscribe. We're trying to get to 60,000 subscribers by the end of the season, and hopefully we get a month to try to do that.
Yeah.
They seem locked in. They're ready to go. I don't know that I've ever been in one of these though, pregame before an NCAA tournament, where I thought, man, these guys are just they're not locked in at all. I was trying to think, as you were asking the question of what the 2023, the 2024, and last year was not an issue at all, and I don't remember it being a talking point those years either. So, yes, but they seem excited to go play. I liked you talked to Malachi Marino just about, what does this all mean to you?
Both of them.
Yeah. We talked to a lot of guys, but two Kentucky kids and what this means to play for Kentucky and be playing in the NCAA tournament. You asked them about his favorite memory, which was 2012, right? But he had a very specific one. Beating Louisville was one of them.
Well, but Malachi's favorite was James Young's dunk.
Yeah, that's right. That was awesome. That's right, because everyone forgets about that one. I kind of even was like, I don't like that. That's your favorite because we lost the game.
It was. And it would be everybody's favorite.
I probably have the poster somewhere in my house if they'd have won that game. It sucks that it's kind of an afterthought. But yeah, that's a sleeper pick for your top moment. You'll love hearing that. I love hearing some of the guys talk about their favorite moments. And we actually talked to I forget what's his name, Santa Clara. We talked to him about who his favorite player was in March Madness, and his answer was very interesting.
He said my dad played in '96, so he's obviously a top legend for me in March Madness. Mario, shout out Mario. Maitland brought up hey, give me a March Madness hero for you, just a legend for you. And he's listing off a couple, my dad, my uncle, And he's like, Jack Golke, obviously. And Steven and I looked at each other at the same time and went, Ooh. And I think
that's going to go viral.
He like looked at both of our reactions, and I think in real time was like, "Oh crap!"
That was against Kentucky.
Oh no! And he was like, "Cut that! Don't just pretend I didn't say it." I was like, "Yeah, sorry,
we did not cut it.
It doesn't work that way, bud. Sorry." But yeah, that was a very cool thing. I hope what?
Can we give a shout out to David Baird 1328 for his super chat? Woo! Shout out, David.
We love you. Thank you.
You might be buying the next round of beers up here on this rooftop.
Do you think he was born on January 3rd, 2028?
That would be quite prophetic.
2028, yeah.
He's joining us as a spark in his dad's eye.
Couple of health updates today that we heard, Tyler. Jaden Quaintance, for the very first time, got to tell his side of the story with the injury stuff, and broke news, publicly at least, about he got a PRP injection couple months ago, and then got a cortisone shot just this past week, so I've heard, and talked about the possibility of him playing. Didn't totally shut it down, said it's probably unlikely, but it gave the vibe of just understanding the circumstances that there's a chance that Kentucky's season doesn't even extend past tomorrow or this weekend, and he hasn't started practice yet, so like there's nothing really to suggest, unless Kentucky goes to the Sweet 16 and then practice goes really well. Unlikely is probably a safe way of describing it, but didn't totally shut the door. Talked about how frustrated he was about the process and that his knee just not responding the way that he wanted it to, and all that stuff. But on the positive side, Cam Williams talked about his foot and said his foot is responding in an amazing way. Practice is going exactly as planned, and he wants to kind of prove that, hey, I'm at 100%, I'm at full strength, let's go win some basketball games. So two kind of different angles there with the injuries, but two updates nonetheless.
Yeah, love to hear them both. The NCAA tournament is great because we get locker room access and we can talk to the guys that they don't just send up to the podium. I think for Jaden, that's huge because people have been talking and hearing about his condition from either Mark Pope or they've been hearing about it from sources and all that. We got to actually talk to Jaden today and hear his side of the story, hear from him how he's feeling and how he's trying to get back. And I think that's really important because you can hear so much noise sometimes about a player and you can kind of cast your doubts in your own mind and create your own narrative. So it's nice to kind of hear him talk in his own words. And I thought it was really sweet how you all were in the locker room and he had his little anime graphic like comic book. I mean, it's another reminder of one, kids are they're kids, and two, he's a very unique kid. It was great to see him out there. He wasn't practicing during the practice, but if you've seen Jaden Quaintance at all, you see him, he's always got a basketball. He's always doing something with it, whether dribbling or, like spinning it around. So it was good to see him out. Obviously good to hear this stuff about Cam Williams. Fatigue became a factor with his foot last week in Nashville. So hopefully this, almost a full week of rest will be good for it. So it was great.
Well, while we have you, Tyler, open practice on Kentucky side. What did you like about it? Because I think we saw more than I think we ever have with an open practice. 5-on-5, got some real scrimmage opportunities. I thought the players were hitting shots and looked good, and they definitely look loose. Yeah,
it was really good to see. So under Calipari, these were just glorified shoot-arounds, and he intentionally would not do anything big in his open practices, but it was good to see they went through drills, they did 5-on-5, they were actually doing things, and so the fans that were there, and there was a decent amount of fans in the stands, they got to see some actual basketball. I think that was really cool, and you could tell they really appreciated that. So Pope ended the practice with 2 minutes of silence while his players shot free throws. And I put that clip out there. I probably should have included the context that they always do this. Yeah. And we first saw this last year in Milwaukee at the open practice. He has to have the gym silent for at least 2 minutes while his players shoot so they can focus on their free throws, but also in a bigger sense, just kind of tune out the world for a little bit. It's kind of always something that he's done. So it was neat to see that again. We're used to it, but by the reaction of the clip that I put out there, it may be new to some fans. So just a little bit of context there. But yeah, it was good to see. They seem loose.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's pay a bill or two. Make Parlour your game day destination from award-winning pizzas like the Doctor, a fan favorite Hot Honey Pepperoni. That is my personal favorite, as you guys know at this point. The Parlour's famous house smoked wings and extensive craft beer selection. Parlour has a menu that will please the whole family. Their location on Harrodsburg Road is just a short drive from Rupp Arena. Don't miss out on their great happy hour. Come in Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. to enjoy discounted pints, cocktails, and starters. Parlour is looking to celebrate 2 new locations locations during the first half of 2026. Actually, one that's coming right now, going in Richmond. Can't wait to go enjoy that one. Sipping on handcrafted cocktail or sharing one of our signature pieces, Parlour is a place with great food and good times come together naturally. Brandon, 2.5-point favorite, thanks to our friends at BetMGM. And you're is that fair? Like, do you think that is about where it needs to be? Is there any chance that Kentucky can kind of, find some avenues and some gaps to, run away with it? Is it kind of one you're going to stay away from personally? How are you viewing that line specifically with our friends at BetMGM?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I stay away from Kentucky games as a general rule regardless, but I think if you're really looking to bet this one, I think there's some room there to take the Cats. For a lot of the reasons I said earlier, in terms of providing some of the context to our worries about the Santa Clara team. Like, they're a 10 seed for a reason. They got third place in the WCC for a reason. Their second best win is like at Xavier against Minnesota. Like, it doesn't compare to what Kentucky has put together this season. Now, again, I also said this earlier, like 7-10 matchups are supposed to be pretty much toss-ups. I mean, by definition, both of these teams are flawed. That's why they're in the position that they're in. If Kentucky was a better team, if they were a 10-point favorite against Santa Clara, they would be a 5 seed. But we're a 7 seed, and that's where we are. So I think the line is fair, but I think, the one thing I'm really going to be honed in on, quite frankly, is going to be the turnovers. Once again, I've made a big deal about it over the last couple of weeks. Kentucky did a better job of it, I thought, in the SEC tournament of taking care of the ball. I think this is a game where if you turn it over 10 or fewer times, you have a chance to win by double figures. If it's 10-13, then I think you're probably playing around that spread. You probably still squeak one out, but it's going to be a little hairier than what we want. If it's 14, 15, 16, and you're dribbling it off your foot against the press and all these different things, that's how you find yourself getting beat in the first round. So I'm really going to be watching the turnovers and probably the 3-point differential as well. Like if Kentucky lets Alan Graves just pick and pop all day, if you let Sasha Guyalagov or whatever his name is come off ball screens and make a bunch of threes, if you let these guys be comfortable from the perimeter, it'll be a problem. But Kentucky, like, this is a game, I talk about it a lot. You should be in a mindset of like, I'm going to go score 90 in this game. There's going to be a lot of scoring opportunities if you don't turn the ball over. Go score 85, go score 90. You'll find a chance. You'll find an opportunity to win this game, and there would definitely be iterations of it where you win by 10, 15, 20 points.
If they score the most points, you will score bonus bets for each round of March matchups.
Nice.
You have the opportunity to predict which team will score the most points. If you're correct, you'll win a share of bonus bets. How to get this offer in 3 easy steps. 1, enter the March matchups, a $500,000 Pick'em free-to-play game to pick which team you think will score the most points in any round of the tournament. 3, if the team you select scores the most points that round, you'll win a share of bonus bets. So how about that from our friends?
Well, how about this segue? To do all that, you need some power. So you know who you need? Our friends at LG&E and KU. We are pros at this. LG&E, KU, they are pros too. They know that when the lights go out, it can feel like a full court press, but staying in the know is an easy win. Update your phone number in the LG&E and KU mobile app or in My Account. If the power goes out, you'll get play-by-play text from 454-358 with outage updates, safety information, and time estimates for power restoration. Can't text? No problem. We'll call the landline on your account with the same updates so you're never left in the dark, because in the dark there is no defense. But with LG&E and KU, you've always got a team working to get the lights back on and let you know the game plan. Update your number today at lge-ku.com/outages. Back to you, Jack.
Anything in there about the shooting the lights out?
Oh, there we go. That would be great for the next line.
Lots of shooting conversation today from lots of the Cats about the ball. Very controversial, polarizing.
This
ball.
is the only reason I'm here, isn't it?
Definitely no reason. Steven definitely not going to go on a little crash out mission right here for talking about a basketball.
It's so
but
stupid.
Lots of ball conversation today in the locker room.
I do love that I get tagged in anything now on Twitter that has to deal with this basketball.
But still confidence that Kentucky is going to shoot very, very well this weekend here in St. Louis.
Are you telling me that you're confident or I am?
The players are confident.
Players are confident, right?
They all said yes, absolutely. We're going.
And it is worth noting that Santa Clara does use this ball all year round.
That's a talking point. It is.
Yeah, it is different in this tournament because they take it straight out of the box, so it's just it's super sticky. And then everyone's seen the video now of coaches just bouncing the ball and it flying up to the ceiling. So I don't know why we're still doing this. I don't know why. Okay, we can use that ball. That's fine. Let's just make everybody use the ball all year round. I don't know why. I just hate that it's even a talking point.
I think it's because of branding, and Nike likes having their balls.
Adidas made a ball that plays similar.
That's the counterpoint.
That's what Nike needs to do.
Let's create an identical ball that just is repurposed and rebranded as the Nike UK ball.
Do you know when they started to do that? When Adidas did that was when Bill Self in Kansas, an Adidas school, said, all right, we're not using the Adidas ball anymore. It's way too different. It's much heavier even than the Nike Elite Championship ball. So then it was like a couple years after they did that Adidas said, okay, we're giving them a ball that plays like the tournament ball. It's so ridiculous. It's so stupid that we're even having to do this.
We're a Nike school. Shouldn't we be able to have some pull with that? Don't you think?
Getting Nike to make a ball? Yeah, we should. Actually, they should do that. I mean,
that seems like something that would bother you.
And I know this is stupid, but Myron Metcalf, somebody that we all respect, very ESPN writer. Is he still an ESPN writer? Okay.
Sources Say co-host.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's done it twice.
Well, then we respect him even more. But he wrote an article several years ago that was where he showed there were studies done that proved that the ball you use has an effect, that it has a more than 1 point difference in your expected scoring. That is insane to me. It's insane, and I know like this is since they've been using this ball. Kentucky's runs in the tournament have been short. Like the furthest we've gone is the Sweet 16 since they started using this ball, starting with that 2021 tournament. And I can't help but think it had an effect on Kellen Grady. And I can't help but think it had an effect on some of the other, like Reed Shepherd, some of the guys in that 24 team. I'm not saying that's why they lost. I'm just saying, like, it's a factor in a game that went to overtime with the ball you were using. So it's really dumb that we're doing this. And we did ask some of the players about it. We asked the same Santa Clara player. I wrote his name down like 5 times, and I just can't remember what it is. But number 44, look him up if you're on your computer. He said that it doesn't really bother them. They're not really thinking about it, but that the balls are a little bit more inflated. And you remember what Kobe Bryant said last year. You just got to change your shot a little bit. What? For the most important games of your career, most important games of your season, you have to change your shot? Tyler, take the mic. I can't keep doing this. This is ridiculous.
This is when you're at your best.
This is Wilson Evo next Stephen Peake season. This is my favorite season of the year.
It's just like, Kobe saying that last year really did.
Jake Ensminger.
There we go. How do you say it again?
Jake Ensminger.
Ensminger. Yeah, that seemed like a good guy. I hope he goes 0 for 50 tomorrow, shooting that ball.
He is a 40% three-point shooter.
Yeah, and that's with the Wilson Evo ball for most of that season, too. Yes. So I love hearing that. No, I mean, like, what did Kentucky shoot in the SEC tournament? Because we used that ball the whole tournament.
25%.
So it's a problem. Like, it is. I mean, has Kentucky really played a great game with that ball yet? Like, seriously, Illinois last year. Actually, Kobe talked to us after he had a good shooting game, and that's what gave it a little bit more validity because
he wasn't
complaining. Right.
Oh, we lost to,
Kentucky did not shoot but he shot really well. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's a talking point. It's so dumb. Just have a universal ball.
Are they going to shoot are they going to overcome the odds and shoot well?
Okay. The start of that practice was you're not even, if we have highlights on our YouTube channel, you're not seeing the first part of that practice because it was just clang, clang, clang. I mean, nothing was going in. So I was like, oh, this is looking good. They ended up as you would like through, you got all the misses out of the way. I saw Mo Diabate bang 5 threes in a row.
5 straight.
5 straight from Big Mo. So maybe he's our 3-point shooter now. Brandon's shaking his head, but hey, he made just as many threes. He made just as many threes as Otega Owe, your favorite player. So that's Brandon Garrison also. So who started lighting it up though? AJ. Now here's why. Here's my conspiracy theory as to why. AJ shoots and misses 3 short all the time, but this ball has extended range tech that they added in, and it makes the ball go further. I don't know, but they say it makes the ball go further. So he was on fire. So I hope he doesn't change his shot too much. I hope he just keeps shooting it like he's been shooting it, which would be awful with any other ball, but great with this one. AJ, put in your overs.
I like hearing if we have any comments, questions in the chat, we'd love to hear all of those.
I just had to get a tweet out. You can say it's a beautiful day in St. Louis, and Stephen Peake is ranting about the Wilson Evo Next Ball.
Yep.
Come and join us because it's my favorite time of year just because of this fact. I love it.
Indeed. Tyler,
Yes.
St. Louis in general, this is our first time in a minute. 2018 was the last time we've been here for a tournament game. Bring back any good memories? Like, are we enjoying our time here in the first 24 hours since we've arrived?
First 24 hours have been amazing. So I've been here twice for Kentucky basketball. I came here, it was just me and Drew Franklin in 2014 for the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament. They played Kansas State and Wichita State. Nobody gave us a chance to win, to get out of that weekend. Kentucky was an 8 seed. The radio crew, Ryan and Matt, didn't even come to the first game. So Kentucky won the first game. They beat Kansas State. I think Ryan and Matt got in the car during the Wichita State game, made it here by the end to see that Kentucky won. Well, that timing doesn't make sense, but make it make sense. But anyway, we all celebrated, and then 4 years later, Kentucky went on another run in the SEC tournament and won as a number 4 seed. So this city has great memories. So far, the vibes have been great. I mean, it's beautiful outside. Blue is starting to get in. I'm a little worried that Iowa State's going to have the vast majority of fans
Those
tomorrow.
jerks, man. They're everywhere.
Yeah. But maybe,
Missouri fans too.
Missouri is also playing in this pod, so they'll have a lot of fans too. Hopefully they'll choose to cheer for Kentucky, their SEC brethren. Something tells me they probably won't. But fingers crossed. I just hope a lot of people from the west side of the state are just waiting until tomorrow morning to drive in, because it's an easy drive. But yeah, we have had a great time in St. Louis so far. We went to Salt and Smoke across the street at the Ballpark Village last night and had some St. Louis style barbecue, some smoked wings. That mac and cheese was amazing. We found a random Irish pub in the middle of downtown St. Louis, which is kind of a dead zone at night if you've been around here.
There's a youth curfew.
There is be careful, guys. Yeah, there's a youth curfew downtown near the Arch from, I think, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So if you're under the age of 18, you can't be out downtown during those hours. So, yeah, right.
A question in the chat. Lots of questions in the chat. Keep them coming. T. Barry ZZ. Jack, can you talk about Quinn Ellis? Is he a good get? That'd be a phenomenal get. There's people, we got to understand, like, EuroLeague and the different overseas leagues. You got to understand how good the competition is before just looking at just broad stats and saying, oh, well, he only averaged 8 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and use that as kind of the baseline for, like, whoa, I don't know if that guy can lead a pro. Yes, he is an awesome, awesome pro that has been doing this for a long time. He's been playing in that league for 4 years now. He's awesome. I'm a really, really big fan of it. The price tag is quite a bit. I know it's kind of taboo to talk about money, and clearly 95% of it's wrong anyway, so who cares? But yes, I think he's worth the price of admission. There's a reason why Duke, BYU, Louisville, Houston, Florida, go down the list. They're also pursuing him, and I think Kentucky has an actual chance to land him. So I would like that addition, Brandon. Do you agree with me, or am I a moron?
You might be wearing your underwear, but you're not a moron. He's a really good player, and he plays in one of the 3 best leagues in the world. So. Yes, like those stats have some important context to them. He's a good passer. He's long. He's 23. He turns 23 like today or yesterday, I think. Okay, in a couple of days, a couple of weeks, whatever. He's a good player. And the other thing too is like, all right, even if you want to convince yourself that he's not the starter, well, we're all obsessed with having a backup point guard. So like, let him be a depth piece. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of done worrying about the money. Like. The money's ultimately either going to be there or it's not. So, like, if it feels like we're overpaying, it ain't my money. I really don't care. I just want to build a good team.
Why are you not giving to the NIL, Brandon?
I am.
Oh, okay.
But,
well,
like, but, like, I just want to win the basketball games, and, like, I'll worry about the money after the fact. On the front end, I really do not care anymore how much we have to pay to get some of these guys. I just want to let's just stockpile. Like, let's do it how we used to do it. We just get all the best players, and we figured it out later. Let's just get all the best players and figure it out later.
As long as Dusty May's not involved, we should be fine.
I'll do another one. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We're getting another round, guys.
There you go.
Yes. As much as we love 360 Rooftop, we really wish they were Country Boy Brews. I just had to sneak that in.
Parlour Rooftop also.
With
we could have
Country
some
Boy Brew.
pepperoni balls with the Country Boy.
Oh.
Dude.
I'm kind of
with the LG&E and KU lights on.
Lights are
and
on.
Just
The seats
while
are
we're live
geeking.
betting with BetMGM. yeah, see, yeah.
Buy tickets left and right.
I spent $6 on a bag of Cheetos that was this big.
Oh,
Gosh, that
can we
was just-
talk about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would love. No, that's a Steven crash out waiting to happen. Like, set the stage here. Okay, I'll start, and you can take off from there. So day one of NCAA, and again, it's just media whining again. Just if you don't like it, turn it off at this point. Whatever. But we, go up to the dining hall is what they're called. It's like snacks and just Diet Cokes and Sprites and chips and cookies and stuff. And you go up and. This time, I don't know if it's just for today or, whatever, but everything costs money, and I was like, that's fine, whatever. Take it up. I got one single cookie, and it was $6 for said cookie, and I was like, damn.
They don't put the prices on there either, so you're just kind of going up there blind, which you can always take it back and be like, all right, I don't want it now.
Can't afford it.
But to be fair,
Yeah.
the cookie was this big. It was big boy, It's all right, whatever. Steven, his experience was a little bit different.
Well, I got a cookie. And then I got a bag of Cheetos, like the bag that comes in like the multi-pack, like the really small ones. And it was also $6. I couldn't believe it. So I spent $12 on a cookie and Cheetos. So I got a number one from Taco Bell, like a 3 taco meal, and I'm like, that's what I paid for, and I'm still hungry. So yeah, that was. And then as we were leaving, even better. As we're leaving, they put all the Cheetos out for free. So this is what a waste of. That was the worst $6 I've ever spent.
We gotta get to the best part of the story. Not that wasn't fantastic.
No, yeah.
Matt Jones, he's going to talk about this on the radio tomorrow, so consider this a sneak peek. Matt sat down near us, and before I even knew you had to pay for the cookies, he walks over with a cookie. And I was like, oh, you got a cookie. That's cool. I thought we had to pay for stuff today. He's like, no, I just got this. And I was like, okay. So about 15 minutes later, he comes with his $6 bag of Cheetos. You come with your $6 cookie. Ryan Lemon comes with a $6 cookie and is shouting to the high heavens about his $6 cookie, which in his quote, wasn't even that good, as he shouted in the media room. I looked at Matt and I said, did you pay for that cookie? And he said, we were supposed to pay. And so now he was in a moral quandary.
Thank you. Awesome.
I won't spoil it. Oh, can we give a shout out to our waitress, our server? What's your name?
Lauren,
thank you for taking care of us. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, so Matt's going to tell that story tomorrow. And if he mixes up the facts, you heard it for real here first. He did not pay for the cookie, but he did make good. I know he went back to pay for it. I don't know if he actually did or if they let him off the hook.
He confirmed that he did, in fact, pay for
Okay,
it.
good. Well, karma.
All right, Brandon. The rest of March Madness today. Any results that have surprised you? Any that have frustrated you? And anything that you are looking forward to here tonight, as we are at 5:10 p.m. Central Time, and the rest of the schedule here to come.
Well, I mean, even though I called it, and I famously don't make stuff up, but I mean, High Point beating Wisconsin, that was a little bit of a surprise. It has to be that. McNeese gave Vanderbilt a heck of a game. I think it ended up being a 9 or 10 point Vanderbilt win, but that was a solid showing by the Cowboys. Obviously, the biggest surprise of the day, quite frankly, is Siena leading by 11 at the half against Duke and getting it done. But I mean, yeah, what are the games we have tonight? You're putting me on the spot here. Let me rattle off a couple, and we'll talk about them, because I feel some dead air as you look things up.
I kind of want to see you squirm a little bit more.
Yeah.
See, Vandy beat McNeese
All right.
by 10.
Does Arizona play? Okay, great. This is awesome. But let's see.
Here we go.
Brandon's best bets went 2-1 today. That's good.
There you go.
There we go.
What am I looking at? Texas BYU, is that tonight?
Yes.
All right, Texas BYU. Let's talk about that one.
All right.
I think that's the most interesting game on the board for me. That's in an hour. You obviously have AJ Dybantsa, the leading scorer in all of college basketball, averaging 25.1 points per game. You have Rob Wright still at point guard. No Richie Saunders, but this BYU team is still very talented. You have arguably the number one pick in the draft, most talented player in the country. Texas has a win under their belt, though, and they didn't play very well doing it. I've said all year this Texas team can be very dangerous in March Madness because they have talented individual players, plus Vokatitis around the basket. But Tremont Mark, we saw him hit the game winner. Bad shot, he made it. That's why I think they're dangerous, because he can do that, because Jordan Pope can do that, because the Xavier transfer, Dalen Swain, he can do it. Like, they have talented pieces, so I'm really interested in this Texas BYU game coming up. I took the Longhorns in my bracket.
I did too.
I actually have the Longhorns into the Sweet 16.
Whoa!
We're getting frisky with it, but that's my very awkward look ahead to tonight's games.
So how nervous were you when at that last second shot, knowing that you had Texas going to the Sweet 16?
Yeah, I needed that. Yeah, it was a good way, and I had Texas money line at the time, so yeah, it was a really big shot. Shout out Tremont Mark.
Some of the other games tonight, we have VCU, North Carolina. That one is kind of on the Louisville tier where everybody is picking the upset. That I'm like, North Carolina's probably going to roll. Just being totally honest, even without Caleb Wilson, who got his jersey retired. And I understand the number's not retired. It's a tradition. I know all of that, but dude, that's embarrassing. Like I know this is an anti-coach. Brandon, you disagree, but that's fine. I just think that is just such loser behavior from North Carolina. Like, this is the house that Michael Jordan built. Come on, man. Like, you can't put a second-team All-American in the Raptors.
Do they do it all the time? Is that what they do for second-team All-Americans?
It's like a criteria. Yeah.
And it's like Final Four most outstanding player, Olympic gold medalist. Like some of the
so it's not a big deal to be in the
highest,
Raptors in Chapel Hill.
But we're also talking like Final Four most outstanding player, Olympic gold medalist, second-team All-American. Like, it's one of these is not like the other, in my opinion. Caleb Wilson, love him. He would have been so awesome at Kentucky. I wanted him so bad. Great kid, great family. Nothing against him personally, but man, we got to raise our standard a little bit at North Carolina, Tyler.
I mean, wasn't his favorite, or isn't his favorite music artist Tyler Childers or something? Wasn't that like some random fact or something that came out?
It is.
I know, and it just makes me like him more. But yeah, when you are the school of Michael Jordan and you have all of those things, putting up a jersey in the Raptors for that, no, you can't do that, man. That's embarrassing.
We got Howard, Michigan at 6:10. We got Texas, BYU, my favorite of the night. Texas A&M, St. Mary's. That is one that a lot of totally different contrasting styles.
Buckyball wins by 20.
Really? Ooh,
I don't know, but
I don't know.
Steven's getting frisky.
I'm a big Buckyball fan.
Illinois Penn scares the crap out of me, Brandon, because I have Illinois going to the Final Four. They are so boom or bust. I feel invested in their offense. I trust that the shots are going to fall and they're going to go on a run, but everything in me is like, man, I'm going to send them to the Final Four and then they're going to lose in the opening round. Is there any chance that Penn is going to pull the upset?
And Frank McCaffrey knows Illinois pretty well. He and this is, I think he's one of now, 6 coaches to take 5 teams in the NCAA tournament. So Frank McCaffrey knows his way around a basketball court. But no, I just think Illinois is so explosive offensively. Obviously, you got the Avicic brothers, you got Kylan Boswell, all these guys. Stojakovic is one of the best pure scorers in college basketball. At the end of the day, no, I think it's going to be one of those that even if it's ugly for a while, even if it's close for a while, Illinois just has too much firepower. You'll be okay there.
There we go. I like to hear it. St. Louis, shout out. Do you think there are going to be like any watch parties around here for St. Louis?
There should be. Shout out to our server last night. He's a senior at SLU, which it took me a minute. I was like, oh, St. Louis, that's where we are. He said they would have had a home field advantage had they played here.
Locked in on ball.
And also said that, they got to give them 60 minutes of hell. And we were like,
I mean, Jack just called this the baseball arena, so I think
that's fair. That's fair.
Hey, don't throw me under the bus like that. That was off the record.
It's all right. We're on Tyler's show right now. It's okay.
That was off the record, jerk.
This is a 3 show here. We got a collaboration going.
With the jerk surrounding me. St. Louis and Georgia. That is at 8:45 Central Time. Very excited for that one. Kennesaw State, Gonzaga. I think that's going to be an absolute rout. And then Idaho, Houston to wrap up the night at 9:10. Any of those matchups intrigue you, Steven?
No, none of them. No, let's see. I want to watch the. Man, I predicted 0 upsets. Brandon, you know about this. I told you about it on Twitter. I thought that I am one of those people who bought into the belief that if you're taking all the good players from all the mid-majors, that they all go to the high majors. Well, the mid-majors are left with a bunch of young guys, and I was wrong. I mean, High Point today, that was just, it's I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about. Can I talk about Calipari? I don't know.
Do it. Who cares?
Okay.
It's your show.
He's going to go to the Final Four. Here's how he's going to do it. He's going to beat a 13, a 12, and then Villanova is going to somehow beat Arizona. So he's going to beat Villanova. He's going to go into the Final Four without beating anyone any good. He'll probably play a 6 seed in the Elite Eight. Just like his SEC tournament run, which featured, an 11, a 15, who's on their 4th game in 4 days, and then Vanderbilt. And the thing is, like, I don't want to pull for him, but I don't want to have this rivalry. I don't want it. Like, I never cared about Arkansas. Like, I never ever watched an Arkansas game if they weren't playing Kentucky. Could care less what they do.
Couldn't care less.
Could not care less.
There we go.
What they did, and now I feel like because of social media and because of how loud the Arkansas fans have gotten, I'm like, there's like 3 teams in this tournament now I have to pull against. I got to pull against Louisville, who got lucky today. They almost blew like a 24-point lead. I got to pull against Tennessee, who I just assume they're going to. I mean, my coin flip bracket had them going to the national championship.
Yesterday. Can we talk about that? You have all of it was like the ultimate villain bracket for all of us.
Duke versus Tennessee in the national title game.
There was a chat earlier that said, "Let's get Stephen away from all the keep Stephen away from the tall buildings if we lose." I think that championship, that Final Four. There was a little bit of heebie-jeebies up here.
Yeah.
But they
how
said,
safe is this?
But they said
we haven't lost yet.
That match, I think, like that Final Four in Kentucky losing would be the recipe to your demise.
Yeah, if that's the Final Four, and just let's throw Arkansas. Let's have just a Duke, Louisville, Arkansas, Tennessee Final Four, and I'll revisit this later. But no,
no. But he won't. He's doing just fine, I hope.
No. I just mean like we'll do another show.
Curl up on the rooftop
coin.
bar.
It actually was crazy because the coin toss thing usually gives me something just insane, and we had 3 1 seeds in the Final Four. It was nuts. So yeah, Duke, Tennessee. If that happens, because Tennessee's not allowed to go to Final Fours, so I should have known right then that that's not going to happen. So until they do it, you should never be predicting Tennessee, especially this year. There's who they play in the first round? Miami of Ohio. Yes. We're all going to be Red Hawks tomorrow night. Or is it tomorrow? Would you know what time the game is?
We talked to Reese Potter about the Miami of Ohio Red Hawks today. That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah. He was like, it's kind of a weird spot for me because I'm rooting for them. I like them. He's like, but I also don't want them to be too successful because if there's any chance that we play them in the Sweet 16, I kick their ass.
Yeah, no, I hope they're waiting for Kentucky in the Sweet 16. I've gotten to the point where I told you this yesterday. I have 2 things to confess. All right. Do you want me to give both of them now, or do you want me to do one and then save one? No, Tyler, it's your show.
We don't know if there's a tomorrow, so just get it out.
Both out of the way? Okay. All right. So the first one was something I wrote down what you said earlier. I'll be honest. I thought JQ I thought he was sitting out. Like the whole time. I just thought, he just doesn't want to play. Kentucky's not doing well, and he's going to be a lottery pick. Why even do this? And, I never really said it publicly, but and who cares if no one's following me, so it doesn't matter. But I did think that a lot and got really frustrated. This is why opening the locker room is actually kind of a good thing for the players. They don't do it to protect them. I think it's a mistake because I'm not the only one. I'm sure there are thousands of fans who think JQ is just sitting out because he doesn't want to play, because his dad doesn't want to play, or whatever it is. But you can tell by talking to him in there,
he's depressed.
He wants to play. Yeah. And you can say these kids aren't that good at acting. All right, they're not. You can be media trained and all that. He's not that good at acting. So I could tell with the sincerity in his voice and how he was talking, he is injured, and it's just unfortunate. It's a risk that we took when we knew that we were getting a player with a torn ACL. But the other confession is that I came to St. Louis just I'm not even excited. This sucks. What do we even this is way below my expectations for this year, and now I'm just do we just whatever? I'm not even nervous. Well, now that we've been in the arena and we've seen the teams and the logos are on the scoreboard, I got kind of now the games are going on, and I'm like,
those horns started.
I'm like, whose eye was? Are we really gonna? Yes, yeah. No, since I was like 8 years old, that music it just spikes my anxiety. But I'm ready to go now. Like I watched those Iowa State players. They were coming in as we were walking out, and I'm looking at them. I don't know any of them. I don't know any of those guys. I know Brandon's got a full scouting report. I don't know any of them. We can beat them. I don't know one player from Iowa State. Maybe I'm not doing my job well, but what I'm saying is that
Chilovich?
Yeah. See, I can't pronounce the name, so I'm not worried about it.
He's a dog.
I'm sure they're really good. I've watched them play a few times. Watched them play a great game against Arizona in the Big 12 tournament. They're really good. But I'm like, what? I'm not scared of Santa Clara, and I'm not going to be afraid of Iowa State. Like, Kentucky's got good players. This is you asked them about the guards. You asked some of the players about the AOC. Or the three-headed goat, whatever we're calling it.
Let's do
three-headed goat. Kentucky fans love AOC. That's what I'm trying to get the headline out. But no, the Aberdeen, Oweh, and Chandler, those three. It's a guard tournament, right? Yep. The guards win. Kentucky's got 3 really solid guards. Let's go out there and let's make a run. I'm talking myself not into beating Iowa State because we got to take it one game at a time. You can't look ahead. But I'm getting excited for this. Like, we're in the tournament. It's not where we wanted to be, but I do think Kentucky's not going to play Iowa State and get blown out. They're going to have a chance to win. And if you get there, I mean...
I'll take over from there. So I think if you get there, it's interesting. We were sitting courtside during the open practice, and it's funny. You have some media members are allowed on the court, whereas others are screamed at to get off of it. But John Rothstein is this unicorn that just gets to rove wherever he wants to. And he came over to me and Jack, or should I say Jack Attack, because this is his nickname for Jack. And we were chatting about, Kentucky and how far he thinks Kentucky can go. And I think he made a great point that if Kentucky gets out of this weekend, if they make it to Chicago, nobody's going to remember some of the bad parts of this season.
Correct.
Sure, it may not be the expectations of a Final Four that we had coming in, but getting to a Sweet 16 with this group would be an accomplishment right now. I think that would be an accomplishment. Now, whatever happens in that Sweet 16 game, if it's versus Tennessee again, good. I don't want to think about that. Or I would love to be able to think about that because it would mean we got there. But I just think getting out of this weekend would be such a lift, like a burden off of this fan base right now. And so that starts tomorrow. I think they have to win tomorrow or it gets a little ugly again. And all the toxicity that we've seen is just going to keep bubbling and maybe boil. But even if you just get to Sunday and give yourself a chance and you play well, and if you somehow pull off the upset and get to Chicago, people are going to be happy again.
Hey, I've had and Brandon, we'll get your take on this.
Holly says, glad to see Brandon Ramsey with the group.
Hell yeah, it is.
Shout out.
It sure is. We also
Shout
got
out to Holly.
Bring Lauren on. Seems like a basketball knowledgeable basketball mind. Our waitress. Holly also said wish they'd done the PRP sooner. Talking about JQ. I agree with that. Like, I think if we're gonna complain about the JQ thing, like, let's not just do the,
Shade and acquaintance.
Shade and acquaintance. Like, let's not just use the low-hanging fruit. Let's make actual gripes about, like, hey, why didn't we do the cortisone shot a couple weeks ago? Why didn't we do the PRP shot initially to try to, like, do whatever it took to get back on the floor and start this process a little bit earlier? Like, getting the cortisone shot on Monday is great, and yes, it does technically open the window for him to, if they happen to make a run, depending on how they decide to get him back on the practice floor and how quickly he's able to do that. Like we saw Cam Williams, it took 2 practices for him to get back and play in a game. How quickly could we, get JQ back in there? I don't know, but that's the gripe. Say like, hey, why didn't we start this process earlier? Why didn't we just say, hey, we got to play games. We got to get this process started and get him in practice and see where this goes. So that's the gripe. That's where we should be arguing and being frustrated. Not just the low hanging fruit of the Shaden Sharp stuff. It's garbage, and it only, as we saw with Jaden today, it only makes things worse for a kid that's hurting right now. Like he's frustrated, he's pissed, he's sad, he's depressed. Adding more to the plate for him is not fair, and I do feel bad for him. But if there is a real frustration with Jaden, it's that we should have started this process earlier. I had a thought. I had a question for you, and I can't remember what it was.
Where's your dinner reservation tonight? That's the question.
Yeah, dinner.
Yeah, we're going to Carmine's
Oh, man.
Steakhouse.
You excited for that?
Yeah, I am. Looks great. They have frog legs, big frog legs guy.
Frog legs, man.
Okay.
Gosh, man, it was a great question I had for you.
Frog legs?
Damn it.
I've never had frog legs before. Are they
I
good?
don't think I have. I've never
Let's
had
see if there's a question in the chat for you. Steve could not have done a better job verbalizing how I felt about this team. Go, Steve. I agree.
What did I say? I don't know. I black out whenever I start talking. I've learned to tune myself out.
Shout out, Steve. This wasn't my question, but we got to fill some time. Guard play wins in March. Do you believe in AOC to lead the charge?
Will AOC lead Kentucky to victory?
Yes.
I'm going to rephrase that.
COD. Somebody said COD.
Okay, yeah, shout out
Chandler,
COD.
Ortega.
Oh, I can see that.
Shout out COD. I do believe in the three-headed goat of the backcourt. I've talked about it several times this season, really, that I think that, especially this time of year, we've seen these guys. I mean, Ortega Owe is like the most consistent guy most of the time. That doesn't make sense, but you're going to get 20 points from Ortega Owe this time of year. I feel confident about that. Denzel Aberdeen has been outstanding, taking over the PG1 reins. Colin Chandler, obviously, there's some dips and dives in his three-point shooting, but on the course of the season, the dude's still shooting like 42%. It's incredible. I know what we're going to get from those guys, and you're right, that does win in March, but I think that we're in a position now where the depth isn't what we want it to be in the backcourt, so you just have so much pressure on those guys, and the front court is not as good as it needs to be, quite frankly, to be a championship-level team. So I feel comfortable in the backcourt. I think I know what I'm going to get out of the backcourt on a game-to-game basis, and I trust those guys to be good enough to win. The question is, are the other guys, both the depth pieces behind them and Kentucky's front court, are they good enough to string together a couple wins in March? That's what I'm not as confident about. But yeah, if this was just a 3-on-3 tournament of guard play, I would feel pretty darn good about Kentucky. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But yeah, I mean, we've seen it today with some of the teams that are winning. Like it is guard play that's getting it done over and over again. So if you can have some positive shooting variance, if Colin Chandler comes out and makes 4 threes, if Ortega Owe keeps doing his thing, Denzel Aberdeen keeps taking care of the ball, then this team can do what we talked about and kind of right some of those wrongs from the preseason, because this is when legacies are made. This is really when fan sentiment is decided. We've seen plenty of times where Kentucky's had great seasons, and then we kind of forget about it because you lose to Oakland, you lose to St. Peter's. Those are pretty darn good seasons. We were 2 seed and a 3 seed. The reason the losses were so bad was because we were so good in the regular season. How about we have the other side of that? Let's have a not great regular season, but figure it out and make a run in March. So I mean, that's what we're going to figure out over the next 24, 48, 72 hours here in beautiful St. Louis.
Can I say, if I'm an Iowa State fan, I hated that draw. I absolutely hated it. Because Kentucky is capable of playing with some of the top teams in college basketball. I think we've seen that this year. So, they're also capable of losing by 30. But they are capable of playing with these teams. If I was an Iowa State fan, because another thing, too, is Kentucky's going to bring fans. And you're like, really? We earned a 2 seed and we got to play Kentucky potentially in the second round? I would be furious if I was a Cyclone fan.
That's fair.
I think one more thing to add to Brandon's point about guard play is Kentucky's 2 guards, Ortega Owe and Denzel Aberdeen, this is their last NCAA tournament. This is their last go. And if we have seen motivated Ortega Owe so many times throughout his 2 years at Kentucky, he talked today about playing with a sense of urgency and how he's, pushing his teammates to play with that too. He is going to come out dialed in, ready to roll. I don't think he's ready for this run to be over. Denzel obviously has national championship experience. He's kind of been the steady hand here since Jalen Lowe was out. So I think you're going to see some special performances from them this weekend, I hope.
There we go. I like that optimism. And speaking of that, we're going to put our money where our mouth is with our friends at Parlour Pizza for our Parlour Pizza pregame predictions. It's time. It's time. It's time. Tyler, you begin with our... does Kentucky get it done tomorrow against Santa Clara?
I think Kentucky beats Santa Clara tomorrow. I think it will be a little bit closer than we like. I'm going to go, this is good because I haven't written my pregame prediction for the website yet, so this is like warm-up. I'll go Kentucky 82, Santa Clara 76.
Stephen Peake?
I'll say So I had this dream last night, as you do right before the tournament. You dream about these games because it's the only thing on your mind. And I told you about my dream, right?
I did, and I don't know if you should say this publicly.
Okay. It was a back and forth game. All right, we're only down by like 7, and then they hit back-to-back threes. And we got down 13 with like 5 minutes to go. We were like, it's over. It's not going to happen. That's a nightmare. That's just a nightmare. Go Big Blue. Go Cats. Yes, sir.
You want to give your predictions real quick on the game?
Well, how much? 8. Okay, I was going to. All right.
Come on out. Get on the camera.
What's the score? There we go.
What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Anita from Princeton, Kentucky.
Okay, yeah.
UK alumni.
Nice.
UK fan, obviously. And yes, we're going to win tomorrow.
Yes.
And hopefully really big. Yeah. Bill?
You said by 8, right?
Great.
There we go.
And I need an MVP.
Yeah. Chandler.
Oh, nice. If Chandler's scoring, we win.
All right.
I like that.
Love it.
I love that.
I'm going to go with COD as my MVP. Kentucky wins by 12. Chandler, Ortega, Denzel, they combine for, I don't know, Brandon, how much do they combine for? What's
42.
it? 42. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So, 42 points for COD. Does that mean, who's the leading scorer? I don't know. Chandler hits a few threes. And I think, but the runner-up is going to be Andrei Yelovich because he's going to bang home at least 3 threes tomorrow.
So the runner-up would be the 4th leading scorer then.
You're right. He's going to hit 3 threes. That's 9 points. And Kentucky's going to win by 12.
Brandon Ramsey.
I love it.
Kentucky 85, Santa Clara 71. I do think we end up running away with this one a little bit. I
love
think we
that.
take care of the ball. I think we see my favorite word, urgency, defensively. We do a pretty good job of taking these guys away from three-point range. MVP, I mean, I kind of have to take somebody that's already been mentioned to some extent since Steven took half the team. I will say Denzel Aberdeen because the ball's going to be in his hands. He's going to be in charge of not turning it over. I think that Otega Oweh probably leads the team in scoring, but I think you could have like a 16-point, 7-assist game from Denzel Aberdeen in this one. And like I said, 85-71. Then we get to work on Iowa State.
God, man, vibes are
Love
so
it.
good right now.
Love
And
it.
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going with a Kentucky 83, Santa Clara 69 victory.
Nice.
Comfortable.
Yeah, I like that. I do. The vibes are too good. St. Louis, we win too much in this city. It's like, of course.
Yeah, when's the last time we lost?
It was 1999.
1999.
Come on,
Haven't even
Michigan
lost
State.
this century. Lost this century.
Come on.
That was the first time. That was the first time Kentucky lost a tournament game before the championship
Yeah.
in 3 years.
We won
4
a
years?
title here. 7-1.
millennium.
We will not be
7-1 in
partying like it's
tournament.
1999. No, we're partying like it's 2026. Kentucky's going to roll whatever score I said. I don't even remember what it was.
83 to 69.
Sure. Yep, that sounds great. And I'm going Mo Diabate.
What?
Mo Diabate is our game MVP. He's going to go for a double-double. He's going for 15 and 11.
5 threes.
He's going to outplay...
5 for 5.
He's going to outplay Allen Graves, I think, more importantly, and lead Kentucky to victory.
Then
We're going to
he'll
be
play with
partying all weekend in St. Louis, and then we're going to see what happens on Sunday and see what happens
So
against Iowa State.
meet you guys here again on Saturday. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Sounds
Another
like-
sources say happy hour on
we tell
Saturday.
Lauren?
Yeah,
sounds fun.
Lauren, we'll invite her on too.
That sounds fun. For Jack, for Tyler, for Steven, for Brandon Ramsey, for the Sources Say Happy Hour Zoom action.
Steven.
Steven Crash Out show that he needs to start on this. We'll see you next time. Go Cats.
Still lost. I got to turn it off.
All right.
We
we're still
know.
live. We're still live.